So recently, I have a lot of people sending me this clip right here.
Stop!
So I figured today will be a good time to talk about the scorpion punch, and I'll do a full breakdown how I set this up. So make sure you guys stay tuned. So first, let's actually break down the mechanics and how I actually set it up. There's actually the first version, 2.0, and the 3.0 version. So I'll do this step by step in order to break it down and how I set this up in a sparring match. So the first thing I do is I typically like to do is I time off the jab. You can't do this technique like you show on the clip, just kind of stab into and punch behind the head. What I really like to do is when the guy stepping to set up a jab, I'll stab and move my head off to the side like so. So as the jab is coming forward, I'm gonna move my head off the line. So now it's creating this angle right here, and there's a jab coming through and passes my shoulder. Then I'll take my right hand and I'll move my head slightly off angle, just like so. Then now my right hand, all I'm doing now is just kind of turn and then punch behind the head. The force is actually better when the guy's collapsing into the punch at the same time. Now, of course, this is not meant to be like a super knockout shot. It's just something that's fun for me to do in sparring, and sometimes I do is kind of mess with my opponent. So again, I'll step off the line, move my head off the angle. Sometimes I'll just kind of slip and duck off the side like so, and all of a sudden I just kind of drop my right hand and over my head, just drive forward at the same time. Boom, and I'll punch with the knuckle down like so, okay? So side angle, I'm gonna slip off a jab, and all of a sudden I just gonna drop my head down like this and then just punch over, and I'm gonna, at the same time, I want to think about pushing my whole entire body forward, like so. So that's the first variation. So I'm going to slip off a jab and then just punch over like that, okay? Now, what I've been doing a lot recently is because sometimes I'll hit this punch right here, and all of a sudden the guy will return right back with a right cross from the hook. So what I think about this is I want to try to think about creating a secondary space. So what I do is I want to hit off a first punch. This lead hand right here is going to almost drive through like an uppercut to create a secondary space. So almost it's like a double combination. So I'll slip off a jab. With my right hand right here, I'm going to punch through like so. And then with this hand, as soon as this hand lands, or even if I miss a shot, I still have a lead hand to drive through with the uppercut to create that secondary space. So that way, just in case I miss the first shot, I don't have to think about getting punched in the head. I just push him back so that way I can create space. Sometimes I'll get two shots in. I'll punch a first shot like this, and the second shot will still get in, and I'll kind of move out from the space right there, okay? So the third option, which is kind of crazy, because I actually showed Jackie this technique, and then Jackie said, why don't you adding a spinning elbow to this?
And the last minute you could.
And oh yeah, that's an elbow.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah, why not?
Imagine that in. Go boom, boom, an elbow.
Yeah.
So instead of just doing two punches, I will actually go 1, 2, and then step off, and then adding with the spinning back elbow. So I actually go step off the line, slip that first punch, and I'll punch over the head like so. Second shots, and I'll step and turn that first spin elbow, just kind of follow through the line. And of course, I haven't been using it a lot more in sparring because I'm so afraid to actually hit people with that technique. But if I have elbow pads and protection, maybe I'll play that in the sparring, like a sparring with other students. So again, so you slip off a line, you punch 1, you punch 2, step off the line, boom, there's an elbow shot. From there, you can either step back and push, or you can go back to the same position and kind of play with it. But remember, this technique was never designed to be like a knockout shots or maybe like a powerful punch. It was just kind of like a fun technique to play around to kind of mess with the opponent. So of course, I know there's always gonna be people out there say that would never work. But there's times that I actually pull this off on like a lot of different people, such as this. Hey, it landed, it landed.
Oh yeah, you got it with him, you did. I was like, wait, I swore his head was over here. You didn't. How'd that happen?
And of course, for me, it's just kind of fun. It just adds a different flavor outside. That's Kevin's thing, you know, he does that all the time. And because Ever since this boxing match came out, I have a lot of people sending me the clips and actually tagging me on all of them. So I thought it would be kind of funny, kind of talk about a full breakdown. And again, if you have any question about this technique, let me know. And if you use this technique in sparring, make sure to tag me because I would love to see how you do this. And anyways, if you have any questions, please let me know. Otherwise, I'll see you guys next week. One thing I forgot to mention is that if you have shoulder problems, this technique may not be for you because you do have to have a certain flexibility so that way when you're punching over behind your head, you're not pulling the muscle out of your shoulder. But for me, it's always about the position with the body. So you don't think about trying to force your muscle through. Do be aware that this technique does require a little bit of flexibility. So the way I do it is kind of move off the side. You don't want to think about turning too much because now my back of my head is exposed. So I'm still slipping off the punch like this. Once I slip off, I just got to turn and push off my rear leg to create that momentum with the body, with the headshots. So one more time, I'm gonna slip off. Remember, my rear leg's not pushed off. The best way to do this is off the jab because I want to think about the impact that when your opponent's coming in, the same time I'm driving my hand forward, just like so. But, and of course, always do this to a safety, to your safety standard measure. If you have shoulder problem, don't use it. Then of course you can use vice versa with the right overhand and such. But I just want to toss out there to make sure that if you have shoulder problem, don't do this technique.